God.
All right, so our I can statement for today, we're going to start working with fractions, and fractions should be a review. You started working with fractions in 3rd grade. You started adding them with different denominators in the 4th grade. So this should be a review. I understand we've been out for a while, so fractions, we need to review them. And also understand that fractions are kind of scary and y'all don't like them. So to help you out, we've got a few different things we're going to do. We are also going to planning on doing a fun activity. We're going to do something with food and cooking food. We might do something like making pancakes or waffles or something. Okay? So we're going to try to make fractions a little bit more interesting, okay? So today's I can statement is I can add and subtract fractions by finding common denominators and writing my answer in lowest terms. Somebody tell me, what is the denominator? Where's the denominator located with?
The bottom of the fraction.
Down bottom of the fraction. Okay? What's the number on top?
The numerator.
The numerator, the number on top. Okay? Alright. If you look at your note sheet, this is the first few blanks in your note sheet. These are the 4 steps for adding and subtracting fractions and mixed numbers. The first thing we have to do is make sure they have a common denominator. If they do not, then we need to make them common. The way we're going to make them common is by using the butterfly method. How many of y'all use the butterfly method? Have you used the butterfly method before? Yeah. If not, we're going to use that. I'm going to teach it to you and refresh you on it. It's easy peasy. I like it. That's what we're going to do. All right. Once you find your common denominator, you're going to rewrite the fraction with those common denominators. So if you look at our example on the board here, we have 2/3 plus 3/5. Those aren't the same denominators, so we put it in the butterfly and found a common denominator of 15. So you have to rewrite it. Rewrite the fraction. Then you add or subtract the numerators, the numbers on top, and leave the denominator the same. Do you add or subtract the denominators? No, just the numerators. And then we simplify. And you're going to like simplifying because all it is using the slide, and it's really easy. Yes, sir?
Can you do like from clever section?
Do what?
Can you do like from clever section?
All right, so those are your blanks. If it's in bold and underlined, that's the blanks that should be filled in on your note sheet. First step is finding the common denominator. Second step is rewriting each fraction. Third step, add or subtract the numerator. Leave the denominator the same. And fourth, simplify. All right. So your first problem on your note sheet, which is what's also on your screen, is 2/3 plus 3/4. If you look at the green box, it reminds you of the steps. The first step is find the common denominator using the butterfly. Well, 2/3 and 3/4, do we have a common denominator there? No. So we have to put it in the butterfly. My butterfly may look slightly different than yours. I put 2/3 and 3/4. I cross multiply in my first wing. So 2 times 4, 8. So I make my little antenna and put the 8 in the antenna. Then I have 3 times 3 is 9 in that antenna. All right, now I draw its butt. All right, your butt is down bottom of your body, right? Guess what? The denominator is down bottom. So we multiply the denominators to get a common denominator to make the butt of the butterfly. So we do 3 times 4 is 12. And then I like to give mine, make it a little head. So what I do is whatever operation we're working with, addition, goes in the little head of the butterfly. Okay, now we have a pretty little butterfly. Now we can make our fractions from it. All right, here's your denominator, right? 12 is the new denominator. 8 up top, 9 up top.
17. We didn't get 12.
Now you're going to add it. When we multiply the denominators together, to get the common denominator. So we did 3 times 4 equals 12.
17.
When we add that together, we get 17 twelfths. But 17 twelfths is a mad fraction. It's not glad.
This is not how we do it.
Why is 17 twelfths not happy?
Because it's like,
What's it called?
over 12.
It's over 12. What's it called, Kelton? You know it. It starts with an I.
Improper fraction.
An improper fraction. When your numerator is greater than your denominator, that's a mad fraction. We call it a denominator. We call it an improper fraction. If you look at our anchor chart, it tells us how to go from an improper fraction to a mixed number to make it glad. So what we do is we divide it. So we have 17 twelfths. We've talked before about how fraction is division. So we can divide 17 divided by 12. We're going 17 how many times?
1.
One time.
It's one. It's one.
So we have a 5 as the remainder, right? Don't steal my thunder.
No. Okay.
All right. We leave the denominator the same, and our denominator is 12. So now we go around the world, and the 5 is your remainder becomes your numerator.
We would have gotten 12.
We did this. We did it the exact same way in fifth grade.
Exact same way.
But you just did that question.
All right, this should be what you filled out. You should have been doing it as I was doing it to begin with. And that's the first question on your page. So do it if you haven't already.
I didn't write that.
Do this on your page. If you're done with this, try number 2 on your own. Try number 2 on your own. What's your question?
That's a little confusing. Can I do it the vocabulary way? That's confusing.
If you can do it the vocabulary way, that's fine.
Oh, what was the vocabulary?
All right, so we're going to look at the second one now. All right, we're going to look at the second one. And we're going to, I'm going to let you work it while I work it. I'm going to talk through it as you work. So notice you have 4/7 plus 2/3. 7 and 3 are different denominators, so we have to make them common. So we put them in the butterfly. So go ahead and put 4/7 and 2/3. When we do the butterfly, it wouldn't be as confusing if you would quit talking and pay attention. What we're doing is when we do butterfly, we're doing cross multiplication. So when you circle right there to make that one wing, you're really doing cross multiplication. You're saying 4 times 3. What's 4 times 3? 12. So you could just write 12 up here if you don't want to draw the cutesy little antenna. Okay? Then you're going to, in the other wing, what you're saying is 7 times 2 is 14. To find the common denominator, you're multiplying 7 times 3, which is 21. That's our new denominator. So I can go ahead and set up my denominator. So 21 and 21. Our new numerators are 12 and 14. The operation we're doing is addition. So now I have 12 21s plus 14 21s. We don't touch, when we add, we don't touch the denominator, so we know it's going to be 21. So 12 plus 14 is 26. And that's an answer. That's a right answer. But it's not the best answer because it's an improper fraction. Okay? We don't like to keep them improper. We like to make them into a mixed number. So to make it into a mixed number, we have to do division. So we place 26, which is the numerator inside. The denominator is your divisor, goes outside. 21 will go into 26 one time. 1 times 21 is 21. We have a remainder of 5. Your remainder becomes your numerator. The denominator stays the same. You will get a whole number. Sometimes you're going to get a regular fraction where you do not have to change it. It's already a proper fraction. It's already correct. Yes.
Sometimes I be getting confused on how to say fractions.
Yeah, so like something like with the 21 as the denominator, it could be hard to say. 5/21, something like that. All right. All right, what you're going to do is the third one on your paper. Go ahead and start the third one on your paper. I'm going to start the timer in just a minute because it's only 2 minutes. So I'm going to let you go ahead and work it. Number 3 on your paper. And then you're going to take a picture of it when you're done. All right, the next part of your packet says blank, blank can also be added and subtracted. Mixed numbers can be added and subtracted. Mixed numbers can be added and subtracted. So for number 4 on your packet, you have 2 1/5 plus 1 3/5. And the blanks is mixed numbers. There's 2 different ways you can solve for this. 2 different ways. One way is to stack it up on top of each other. I can take 2 1/5 plus 1 3/5. What's 1/5 plus 3/5? 4/5. What's 2 plus 1? 3. There's your answer. There's another way to do it. Listen. Do you remember having to change them from a mixed number to an improper fraction? Do you remember how to do that?
Yes.
To do that, let's say we have 2 1/5. You multiply, then add. Does that ring any bells?
Yes.
So 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 is
11.
all right. And then if I've got 1 3/5, I've got to multiply. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 is 8. It gives me 8/5. 11 plus 8/5 gives me 11 plus 8 is 19. Now I have, it's improper, so I have to divide 19 divided by 5. Can go in there 3 times. 4 left over. All right, pick which method you like.
Right.
No.
All right, pick it and write it on your paper. That's what you should have been doing, guys. You should be writing as I'm writing. You don't pause and wait. You write as I write.
I got a question.
Pick your method that you want to write.
I got a question.
What's your question?
So what if the denominators aren't the same?
That's what we're getting to in the next question.
Oh, man. Wait, I already know the answer. I know the answer to that.
All right, let's look at the second one, or number 5 on your packet. We're subtracting we have 4 3/8 minus 1 1/4. Are our denominators the same?
No.
Are our denominators the same?
No.
No. What's the first thing we have to do?
I'll make the denominators the same.
Make the denominators the same. Yes, sir. You're going to say that? All right. So we're going to make the denominators the same. So I'm going to put 3/8 and 1/4 into the butterfly. 3 times 4 is 12. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32. Now we have 12 minus 8 equals what?
4.
We have 4/32. So over here, I can do 4/32. That's what we found out as these two were subtracted. What's 4 minus 1?
3.
What is 832 equal 432?
All right, listen.
And to make it a fraction.
How does 832 equal 432?
No.
12 minus 8 equals. Yes, sir.
Say separate. Say separate.
I got 3 and 1/8.
All right, listen. All right. You could have also went around the world, made it improper, found your answer, had to convert it back to a mixed number. Or you could have noticed that all I had to do was double this number right here, and I would have gotten 2 8s, and I would have had common denominators. If you're real good with fractions, you're real good with multiplication, I suggest trying to do something like this. If you're not good with it, I say do that. All right. What I want you to do is try to do 6, 7, and 8 on your own. I'll be walking around and looking.